Right. Guess which Muppet has just spent half an hour talking to a camera only to then realise that there is no SD card in the camera? This guy. Hey up, doggos. It's been a while. Hello. It's only today that I have just discovered that even if it is remotely tiniest bit cold wherever you are, chances are it is still way too hot to put a fursuit on. Which is what I have discovered today, because it is freezing cold outside, freezing cold in the cabin, and I am melting still. Yeah. Been a while, everyone. Hello. I figured that since conventions are just not happening for me at the moment, I figured what a good time it would be to do a Q&A that I've been putting off for months. So there is no time like the present, it's a Q&A. But what's this? An advert? So over on my second channel, I did a review for a product for sim racing. And since there's a few of you guys that also watch that channel, you guys asked me about these things. The paw pillows. Well, funny you should ask that, because they're my paws, and you guys are allowed to buy them. That's right, guys, you can buy my beans for your sofas and whatever you want to use them for. But you can't have these. These are mine. They're mine. A lot of you are going to like that one. Right, this is a Q&A. Let's get on with it. Thassalante K. Rescal asks, how has your taste in games changed over the years? Are there any you're particularly excited for? And are there any you are particularly excited for that are coming out this year? I mean, my tastes in games haven't changed, so to say, but there are a few games that I'm actually really excited coming out. One being Halo Infinite. I'm a massive Halo buff, and I love Halo, except for the 5th one. That one hurt. But the game that I've really enjoyed this year and last year was a game called Ghost Runner. It's basically Mirror's Edge meets Cyberpunk. It's a really, really fun game, but it is really, really difficult. But that one has been my favourite game to play this year and last year, so go play it, otherwise you're not going to enjoy yourself. Deep Fried Spaghetti asks, now that you have your new gaming office and you're back into making videos, what do you plan on doing in the future? Anything in particular you're excited to record? Well, since I've got the cabin now and I'm back in full swing of things, there are a few things that I really want to record, but they're more like IRL stuff that kind of needs a lot of planning and funding behind it. There is one series that I'd actually like to try and film one day, but the problem is, since I don't have the funding anymore, I kind of need help getting to do it. And basically the premise of it is a series called Fursuiting the Dangerous. And what that entails is basically going to these weird and wonderful places and wearing this stupid thing. Like, I would love to actually go and film some stuff like at an active volcano or something like that, or even going to the Monsell Sea Forts down in the southeast of England. Not your typical places that you would want to go and fursuit, but it would be like kind of semi-educational, and I'd really love to actually go and film that kind of stuff. The only problem is funding. If you guys would like to see that series come to life, and it is a big if, then let me know in the comment section below, and if you really, really want to see it and actually help me kick that series off the ground, then my Patreon is down below, and that would actually help me get the funding to make this series. And not to mention, you guys also get some goodies in return. T-The-One asks, would you ever do a guitar thing for us again? Because as a fellow guitarist, I quite enjoy watching you play. Yes, I do plan to do some more guitar stuff and music stuff for you guys, because you guys seem to really enjoy it. Currently, I have 3 songs that I want to do a cover of, which I'm not going to mention, because they're songs that people don't really know, and I'd like to give my version of it first. But also, I would like to make some more metal music again, like I did before, and this really is the perfect place to do it, this whole studio. Sir Carl asks, hey Corey, I have one for you, but you can also refuse to answer the question if you want to. What did you do back when you had your 3-month hiatus from YouTube and streaming on Twitch? I mean, I'm kind of sat in it right now. This is the thing I was working on all that time. The cabin. Domkid asks, what made you finally decide to distance yourself from / leave the furry fandom? It's a question that I have been avoiding for quite a long time, and I've been rather private about it. It makes sense to tell you guys because the majority of you guys are furries, and it's kind of what this YouTube channel was based around originally. But the truth is, it's not the same place anymore. It's not the nice, sweet, welcoming place that it once was when I first came into it back in 2012. And over the years, it's just changed to this mean, vindictive, narcissistic, political cesspool. It's just not friendly. It's not a nice place anymore. If you find it to be a nice place for you, then good for you. I'm glad for you. But for me, it's just not nice anymore. Especially on Twitter. Twitter is just the epicenter of all hate mobs. And that's something that I don't want to be a part of anymore. I'd rather go and do my own thing on my own terms. Now, I have to mention this one too many times, but I'm going to have to say it once again, so you can please stop asking me this kind of stuff. I may be no longer part of the community, but I still wear this thing because you guys seem to really like that, and I'll be still making content. I just won't be attending furry events or anything like that because it's just not my scene anymore. I mean, for example, there was that whole fiasco very recently about that new convention that's popped up that's apparently causing a lot of people a large amount of upset. I can't remember the name of the convention, but basically some people came together to make a furry convention, and their tagline is like freedom of expression, like there's no cancel culture here kind of thing, and people got really upset about that, saying, oh, this is a hateful convention, how dare they make this, it's disgusting. And I just sat back and like looked at the whole thing like, really? The firework display was phenomenal. And as someone who's just like left the furry community, I'm like just sat here, yeah, I am glad that I am no longer part of this. Because from what I was saying is that both sides are screaming at each other and being really mean and vicious towards each other. And guess what? They're both wrong. They're both being stupid. Because you've got one side of the argument saying, this is racist, this is homophobic, this is disgusting, how can they do this, this is awful. And there's just basically all this screaming about this convention like, oh, awful. And then you've got the other side of it, which is being also stupid, where they take a convention that's meant to be for furries and then politicizing it. Why? What is the point? If you were going to make a convention, just make it how you want it, but don't go ahead and provoke people with it with your politics. It is so ridiculous and stupid how both sides of the same coin are basically just screaming and ripping each other to shreds. Over what? A convention. Because one of the things that made me giggle was there was a Streisand effect going on. Basically, the people that didn't want this convention to go ahead have basically shot themselves in the foot by screaming and complaining about it. Because they don't want anybody to turn up to this convention, yet they are making so much noise about it that they're bringing so much publicity to it. They don't want it to happen, yet they'll talk about it, and therefore more people seem to know about it now. Like me, who wants nothing to do with any of that, even heard about it. Like, if they didn't complain about it, I probably wouldn't have heard about it. Regardless of what your political beliefs are, and I don't care, to be honest, putting politics into a furry convention is just the dumbest idea I have ever seen. Now, my opinions on the politics themselves, guess what? None of your business, and I'm politically neutral. But it's ridiculous. Both sides. Stupid. But whatever your opinion is on it, do what you want, just don't involve me with it. Because at the end of the day, it goes back to that old saying that's never thrown around anymore. But let me bring a blast from the past back. Furries ruin everything. Thane Grace asks, how would you like to be viewed going forward? We know you're taking a break, possibly permanent, from the fandom. So should we start viewing you as Corey who likes to game and entertain? Would that be more comfortable? I mean, that's basically how I've been wanting to be viewed since day one. I won't be coming back to the fandom, but I'm still going to carry on as me. The same that I've always been. Just trying to do good and make people smile a bit. Quadumbra asks, what fursuit makers do you recommend for my first fursuit? I'm a wagon, by the way. Also, hope you and your friends and family are doing well, and I'll still support whatever you do. That's a really nice thing to say. So what I'll say is, I may not be a furry anymore, but I can still recommend where to get a good suit. And that's it. For your first suit, honestly, the best place is to look at my maker, Blue Fox. He does some incredible work. The fursuits are really light, they're really well made, they're foam based, they're very easy to clean, and they look fantastic, and they are affordable. And if I ever get a Corey version 3, then I'm gonna look no further. What is your editing process like? Chaotic. Dumb Blonde asks, how are you liking the new office? The new cabin is pretty much everything that I've wanted in an office, pretty much. It's separate from the house. The sound leaks, but it's also got to go into another house if you want to get noise complaints. Our neighbours, thankfully, are amazing, because on that side, my brother owns the house next door, and on that side, we've got literally the best neighbours in the world whom I've known since I was born. But I can be loud in here, it's my own personal space, and it looks great. I mean, look at the background. I've got neons in here, which, by the way, if you really like this neon sign, Xavier Fox bought it for me. You know that guy with the tank and Skrillion bazillion cars? That guy, he bought that for me. If you left the fandom, then why did you get Timby, the new fursuit head? Because I don't have to be a furry to enjoy fursuits. That's like saying anybody that goes to Disneyland and enjoys the mascot costumes as a furry. No, it's ridiculous. Are you sick of people asking why you left the fandom? Yes. Ever done something you regret in life? Lots of things. Some old career choices maybe, which I won't go into because they're a bit NSFW. Maybe a lot of drug taking in the past. Being deliberately mean-spirited is one of those things. That's probably the worst I've ever been, and the biggest thing I regret was being deliberately mean-spirited because I thought that was the right thing to do. But live and learn, never again. Have you any plans for buying, renting, or whatever a house because your dad's doing better? If so, would you go back south or stay north? I haven't got any plans to move out. I am going to stay right where I am because this is where I am happiest. Because I get to help out my dad and I'm looking after him, even though he might be doing better. I am paying rent to him, but I've got no reason to leave. And he doesn't want me to leave, he wants me to stay right where I'm at, right here. And frankly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anyway, I think that's enough questions for today. If you've enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like, and if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Guys, I have dipped below 70,000 subscribers because I've been losing subscribers again, so yeah, slippery slope, but that's not going to stop me, so I'm going to keep going. Don't forget about the beautiful merch below if you want to get something for yourself, and don't forget the paw pillows are out. And if you guys really want to support me that little bit extra, then my Patreon is down below where you guys can get yourself some really nice Patreon exclusive goodies, and that will help fund me to do bigger and better projects. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good night everybody.